Hey you, and welcome back to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. My name is Satchmo. This is episode 37, and this is part 2 of our Joolian mini-series. So we are in the Joolian SOI right now. We have a planned encounter with Lathe, which is at this point 750k above the surface, and we're going to spend some time kind of exploring these planets, do a little bit of planet hopping. Thank you guys so much for being here. I do appreciate you coming. Hang out, take time to see what I'm up to. We're going to start this episode off with a small adjustment to our orbit. We're going to pull this thing in. There we go. A little bit more equatorially, and I can't move that node from here, so I'll just do it from here. Small radial adjustments. The numbers go away. I don't want you on there. There we go. These small radial adjustments to bring that in. I want to say the Lathe atmosphere starts at 50k. Let's bring it down as well. Oops, normal. So again, bring it kind of equatorially. In fact, I'm going to use my planned escape. See that green line? It's kind of hard to see. It's the one right here. I'm going to line up all these things in the same plane, and then I'm going to, there we go. I'm going to change my normal vector here until I see that the escape from the escape is going to make me in plane with Jool. That's what I'm going to do. And then I will actually make my other adjustments, which in this case will be a radial out. 46. Is there a smaller 39? That should be okay. These are really too small to even. I'm not going to be that accurate anyway. 1.6 meters a second. It's going to be hard to get. I might have to make several adjustments. Anyway, let's go ahead and do that. As if you can't tell already, I'm going to be using Lathe to aero brake, because Lathe actually does have an atmosphere. And I want to say it's actually a pretty thick atmosphere. So we're going to see if we can use that to, let's speed this thing up. There we go. I'm going to see if we can actually use that to help us capture around Jool. So this will help bleed off some of the Delta V that we need. We're just going to use its atmosphere as a little bit of a brake. Kind of pump the brakes on this whole project here. And I don't really need to be that accurate in terms of time, as always. There we go. I'm just going to stop it exactly where it is. And I'm going to make small adjustments here with shift, keeping my hand on, or keeping my finger on the X button to instantly kill my throttle. And let's pull this in. And I should be able to kind of fine tune, adjust. 80. I don't really know what I want. I'm going to go with like 40-ish, 38. Let's go there. That may be too deep into the atmosphere. It's really hard to say. I'm not entirely sure. But my escape should be okay. Okay, we're also going to quick save this, because if things go wrong, we're just going to do this over and over again. Let's go ahead and point, well, we'll get into the SOI first. So let's go ahead and warp. And so we are in Lathe. This part's kind of annoying. But here we go. Warp to the Lathe SOI. And then now we'll point retrograde. Again, physics warping to do that. And we'll see if we burn up or not. But I'm going to be essentially just burning here until I get a capture around Jool. I think this is where I'm going to do my capture burn. So. Is there a way to show the status of the craft? There should be a way to show the status of the craft in terms of, like, you know, are you overheating or whatever. But let's go ahead. I'm going to quick save again, because this is a fine place. If I need to reload and make an adjustment, I can make it from here. That's okay. So let's go ahead and... oh yeah, I should have done this earlier. Look, we can see the planets now. So here's one over here. I'm not entirely sure which one that one is. I can look real quick. That one appears to be Tylo. And then, of course, right here we have Lathe, which doesn't look like much because of the sunset. And we have Jool, which even though we're that far away, they actually look equal in the sky. So it's very, 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 very big. It's impressively big. And if we scan around, we should be able to see one of the other ones. Too hard to see right now. They might be on the side of one of these giant planets right here. At any rate, yeah, it's the first time you come to these planets. It is very impressive, impressively large. So, okay, let's pull in as close as we can, reasonably, and see if we can get... Here we are. Oof, I didn't, Dying. That's so funny. Okay. So no. Not that close. I don't remember how far to go. Let's go back to 50, where I think it actually starts. We're going pretty quick. So even a small amount of atmosphere is going to it's going to hurt. So let's go radio out. Little physics warp. Here we go. And then I'm not even going to go to map view. I'm just going to look right here. Periapsis height of 38. Let's adjust that to 50 or so. 44. Obviously it takes a lot more fuel to make the adjustments here than it would way up there. But that's what I get for quick saving so late. It's okay. Now we'll go retrograde. So 8 grand. Now we'll go retrograde. And let's see if the planet eats us this time. Okay, here we are. Now we are going to be entering the Earth's atmosphere, or the planet's atmosphere. Oh, wait, yeah, way too fast. Still going way too fast. Okay. So I don't think we can use the atmosphere at this speed to slow us down. I think that's going to be the answer. But we can still use its gravity well to do that for us. So, since we're heading in front of the planet, we're going to be able to kind of use the kind of gravitational drag of that planet essentially to slow us down, which is what we're going to do here. In fact, you see that it's actually bending my orbit inward a little bit here. So we're going to continue. We're going to go radial out, same as before, going away from the planet, and fire up the engines. And again, I think it doesn't say. I thought there was a planet thing here. Maybe in this view there is. No, there's not. 55. I want to say the atmosphere starts at 50, so 56 should be plenty. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and warp over to Periapsis. Right. Come on, you. There we go. Warp here. Switch it to retrograde. Yeah, so we're actually not in the atmosphere. We are pretty close to the atmosphere though. And what I'll do is I'll just do my retrograde burn here. Here we go. And we'll see if we can capture around Jool. And this may take a moment, so we're going to time warp through this. But yeah, it looks like I'm actually getting a capture. Shouldn't take too much. I want to say it's like 160 meters a second to capture around Jool. I remember it not being very much at all. So I was going to try to use the aero brake, but instead that did not work because we just came in way too hot. So that's totally fine. I'm sure that same thing has happened to you at one point or another. Alright, there we go. Let's kill that. Let's kill that. So now we are captured by Jool. And something else we want to do while here, because we're not coming back to Lathe for a while at least, is let's take another look at it in daylight. Look at that, just nothing but ocean. Few things down here at the bottom that we can see, but for the most part, just ocean. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and point some fun direction, like anti-normal. And there we go. Rotate this guy around a little bit. And let's get our scientist out. Well, let's do our science real quick. I want to say Lathe has the greatest like science coefficient in the whole game. Once you get more science for Lathe than anywhere else. We already read that one. You've read most of these already. Yeah. Okay, so we've read all those already. We'll just hop Haley out and do our EVA report. 64 science for an EVA report, which is pretty good, really. And we'll hop her off. Press R. Bring her around the side here. Collect and restore. Collect and restore. I'm not going to close the doors yet. I made a mistake last time. Let's hop her back in. Watch your head. Alright. Board. And now we will make this thing collect all the data. And close the doors. So there's like in space near and in space high, and then there's certain things that happen over different biomes and whatnot. And I'm aware if you really spent your time here on one mission, you can get a ton of science just by flying around like we are. So I am well aware of that. However, I will not be doing that. So I am going to get science from all the different places that we go, but I am not going to spend forever getting all the different biomes and whatnot. So before anybody mentions that, or if you're thinking it, that's what's going to happen. So I do have a nice equatorial orbit. So without doing any kind of plane changes, I want to go ahead and grab the other two planets that are in the same orbit. So we'll do Tylo and Paul. And the first thing you can do is just to kind of fly around a little bit and see if you get an intercept. You may or may not. It's kind of hard to tell. But we'll fly just a little bit and we'll actually see if we pick up anything. I don't know where. I think I used to know, but I don't know where it recalculates your orbits, like when you're actually going to make an intercept and when you're not. But at some point along this, it'll recalculate where we'll be when we're over in that area, and that'll be how we know whether or not we can actually get in orbit or anything. Also, I'm going to leave this kind of highly elliptical orbit because when we're out this far, 100 meters a second, when you're going very slow, you get opportunities to make bigger adjustments later. Whereas if we were in a more circular orbit, we would be going very fast, and things cost more when you go fast. So that may be a little bit of a misrepresentation of things, but I am going to just leave this as it is. Also, there's really no reason to reduce my apoapsis at this point. So let's come in a little closer and see if we pick up, excuse me, perhaps we pick up an intercept with Tylo. But we may not. Let me check our planes again just to see. Yeah, our planes look like they're pretty closely matched. I could definitely see us getting one sometimes, in several orbits perhaps. But nope, not this time. It's going to be on the other side. Oh, here is something. Oh, what was that? Aw, something flung me out. Ah. Let's just see what happens if I burn retrograde to slow myself down. If I can recapture or not. Probably not. Otherwise I'll have to do a quick save. So what happened there was, as I was going around the planet, I caught an intercept that I wasn't expecting to catch. And that slowed me down. It flung me out as I got slingshotted out into space. So I do not think I'm going to be able to slow down enough. so my velocity is really high right now. So let's go ahead and load the last quick save. Did I quick save after lathe? I don't think I did. Let's see what happens. No, I did not. Okay, I'm gonna do my capture and then I'll see you in a second. Okay, so what I remember, what I've noticed is that as I was doing my capture burn around lathe, I wound up getting another intercept with Val, just kind of by chance. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use this opportunity to go ahead and hit Val while we're on our way out. I could have done this last time, but I was more interested in doing our capture. So, but I'm not really worried about doing the capture. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and grab Val while I'm here. I do want to make sure I'm on the front side of Val's orbit, which I'll address later. So I am continuing to subtract velocity, even though Val is relatively slow. I still do want to be subtracting velocity because if I hit all these planets before I do my capture around Jool, then they'll just continue to make me go faster and faster, and then I'll be spending more and more time, or more and more delta V to actually doing my capture. So at any rate, I have to do another edit here because I need to go. I need to do the science that I did last. I need to redo the science that I did last time. But I wanted to quickly mention real quick that that's our new plan, is to go ahead and hit Val. So see you in a minute. All right, so here we are. I'm back into the SOI of Jool. I've left what we call it, lathe, and I'm just setting up a quick maneuver to kind of rework myself around Val. Again, my main concern here is that I'm ultimately subtracting velocity from my from Kerb, from Jool. That's ultimately my goal here. So let's see if there's something I can do to get me on the other side of Val. This is going to be relatively expensive. There we go, and I don't think Val has an atmosphere, so I can get pretty close, and that'll help bleed off some of my, some of my Joolian delta V. Or not delta V, I keep saying delta V when I mean just like my velocity. Okay, that should be okay, and then I'm gonna look at my escape here. My escape is still kind of in line with Jool, so that should be okay. Although it actually appears that maybe it's a little slower. It actually appears that my escape is more straight than curved, which would imply that I'm actually going faster. That shouldn't be the case. I should be heading in front of Val. Well, I'll be burning retrograde anyway, so interesting. Anyway, it's going to cost almost 300 meters a second to perform this one. This is slightly annoying, but it is what it is. It's only 5 minutes in the future. It's a 2-minute burn, so we'll hop down to about 1 minute. Yeah, I have to be very careful doing all this stuff, especially I'm kind of, at this point, kind of flying by the seat of my pants, right? And, just kind of making things up as I go along. So things like quickly time warping, hitting a planet, and then flinging myself out of the SOI, that does happen. And I kind of wish, well, I know the reason why, because it's very complicated to do, but I kind of wish there was something that would stop that from happening. Like if you change spheres of influence, perhaps you should automatically kill your time warp or something. Or maybe that should be a setting where that's the case. I don't know, it's kind of hard to say whether or not that would be altogether beneficial or not. We are going to, here we go. Nice and low. Likewise, let's go ahead and set up a maneuver here. Here we go. Let's see if we can go ahead and get a capture and how much that's actually going to cost us. Not too much. Less than $1,000. We still have a lot in the bank. That's fine. I don't really even need this maneuver. I was curious how much it's going to cost. So yeah, a little less than $1,000. We have 7.5 in the bank still, so we should be okay. We've already hit 2 of the planets we want to hit. I'm not saying that we're going to hit all of them. We may or may not. But keeping in mind I do want, what, 3 grand to go home? So still should have plenty of Delta V. And I'm not above sending a rescue mission if I need to. I'm not above putting Kerbin's life in danger. I mean, that's like part of the sport, right? At any rate, here we are on Val. Something I have been forgetting to do is actually look at the planet. There's Jool, the inescapable Jool. And here's Val. We'll see it more on the sunny side here momentarily. In the meantime, in between time, let's go ahead and hit up some of this science. There we go. And okay, cool. And let's send Haley out again. She's having all the fun. I guess it's kind of hard to say, but I guess if you were new to the game, or, well, it's kind of hard to say. What I'm considering in my mind is whether or not this is a good place to come to knock out the tech tree if you're a beginner. Probably not. I don't know. No, probably not. No, I could say probably not. What I was thinking is that it would be a good place to come because there's so many different planets and stuff to go to. It's real tempting. Oops. Don't need to go that far away. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think this takes a pretty good grasp of orbital mechanics to, like, not that it's hard to do or anything, but a pretty good grasp on orbital mechanics to be able to say, okay, well, now I want to go here, how do I do that? Now I want to go here, how do I do that? So if you don't have that knowledge, then maybe this isn't the best idea. But if you have a pretty good grasp on orbital mechanics and you can design, a pretty decent spaceship, it's not really a bad idea to come here, I think. Because of, well, exactly that, because of how you can hit so many different planets all at one time. You can pretty much knock out the tech tree all in one go if you wanted to. Yeah, so we are flying over the surface of this planet. Yeah, absolutely flying. I have to keep checking, make sure that I'm not time warping. And we're just going to burn off some Delta V here. Very, very pretty planet, Val. I'm not entirely sure if I ever landed on it. That's funny, I never thought about that. I may not have actually ever landed on this planet. But yeah, she certainly is pretty. Let's look at that view of Jool. I always like looking at Jool because it's just it's so cool to see it something that big in the sky. Nah, I can't see it from here. I think Val's in the way. It is, yeah, of course. Anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and do our little warp until we capture. I won't be time warping like I did last time around Jool anymore. Excuse me, let's sip the Coke. Alright, so what we're gonna hit next. Let's try for Tylo again. Again, this time I'm going to try to set up a maneuver to actually intercept Tylo, rather than just kind of fly around and hope that I get close, because unfortunately when I did get close, I got too close. Are we doing Delta V? 7 grand? Should be getting a capture momentarily. In fact, I'm just going to set up a maneuver node somewhere along this path. There we go, that's fine right there. There we go. I'm getting a lathe intercept. Okay, let's kill the time warp, and let's get out of the SOI. There we go. So now I can be a little bit more accurate, and let's just set up a maneuver here, and just do some working and see if what kind of intercepts I get. I should be getting an intercept with Tylo. Pretty easy. Because here's a trick that you do: you set it as a target, and then you. Oh, I've confused the game. Let me see. I'm just going to use this right here. I'll make small adjustments. And you can see those close approaches move around. Actually, let me see if I can... here we go. I'll switch view to Tylo. Yeah, the game is actually lagging when I do this because it's having to recalculate. That's a pretty close approach. Is there a way to, oops. Kind of hard to say. Let me instead make a maneuver a little further down. Perhaps over here. And let's just cancel this maneuver. And let's just make it over here. Add maneuver. And let's see if we can get something close. Oh, so here we are right here. That's already pretty close. And slowing down at this point seems to bring us together. Oh, and there we go. The intercept right away. I would say it shouldn't be too hard to get one. Just by the nature of our orbits and everything. It shouldn't be too difficult. Same thing here, though. I want to be subtracting speed. I want to be subtracting speed from my overall Joolian velocity. So I want to make sure, let's check which way he goes, for instance. Okay, so he goes anti-clockwise. So I want to be on the front of the planet so I don't accidentally gain any more speed. Anyway, with this in mind, let's go ahead and make small changes to see if we can get that periapsis a little closer to the planet. Because we want to get a good view of all these places. Trying to, again, remain very equatorial, if at all possible. Okay, well, 1.3 meters a second to get the intercept, and then a little later in the path, we'll do another one to close the intercept a little bit. So let's go ahead and set up that maneuver. Very, very small burn here. 13 days out, not too long. 3. A little bit of a wait. Three, 2, 1. Okay, good enough. Alright, let's see this maneuver and see if we get something close. There we go. And in fact, it's kind of creeping in the way I want it to. So I'm just going to keep on burning. Oops. Did I catch another intercept or something? Nope. Something happened. Something happened that made me lose this intercept. So just to be safe, I'm just going to flip around and burn the opposite direction so I can get that intercept back, and I'll stick to my original plan, which was to set up another maneuver later. And I'm not getting that intercept back. Interesting. Okay, well, why did that intercept go away? Huh. Let's make a small change here. That's really weird. Nope, there it comes again. So a small, what was that, retrograde burn? Small retrograde burn seems to do it, so let's just go ahead and set up a retrograde burn. I'm literally just fiddling with it, you know, to get things what I want. Ooh, okay, there we go. Alright, again, got an intercept, and that's well enough for me. Let's cancel this. And let's warp. Well, let's set up a maneuver here. And now that we're kind of a little closer to the planet, this should be a more precise maneuver. It should be. There we go. It's hard to say whether or not the radial burn will be more efficient or like a velocity, like a retrograde burn, but it's only cost me about 26, so it doesn't seem like it's too expensive either way. And it should be no normal or anti-normal. Pretty cut and dry. So there we go. I know it says $2,000. That's too much, but I'll stop it before it gets to that point. Cool. So let's go ahead and warp till we get to that point. So we're a year away. Yeah, quite a bit of a warp. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. I like hitting all these different planets and taking a look at them. I know other YouTubers like Matt. I'm sorry, I bumped the mic. Matt Lown. He does these really cool cinematic things. I think he's got a couple different mods to use with his camera, like camera mods that'll allow him to do cool cinematic things with the game. And I should really look into doing that myself, but I just haven't yet. Anyway, yeah, those are really cool and a lot of fun, and it makes stuff like this look a lot more attractive. But I'm just doing it. Also, you see that just by virtue of look at the difference in apoapsis here, and most of that is the intercepting the planet. And I've taken this much velocity out of the system, so that's very cool. So yeah, if you keep just kind of flying by these planets over and over again, you can add or subtract your velocity and change your inclination and all that. You can do all kind of really clever things without having to do too many burns if you know what you're doing. So anyway, I'm gonna try to focus on this. In fact, let me stop it right now because I just realized I haven't quick save in a minute. So I'm gonna do a quick save, and then now I go back to this. Anyway, video is starting to run about to the appropriate time. So after this, we'll get all of our science and we'll plan our next maneuver. Or think about maybe our next maneuver, we'll maybe plan it next episode. And, oh, actually, this will fling me out. Hold on. Stop. Oh, this is gonna fling me into the planet. That's why the periapsis is so low. I've made a mistake here. Yes, I've made a grave error. So I'll be watching that to make sure that doesn't happen. If you see this green line right here, what's actually happening is that the Tylo is bending my orbit so much that it's actually going to fling me into Jool. And that's no good. So we will make sure that we don't get that close to Tylo. We will be sure to not do that. So these maneuver nodes at this point are more of a reference than actual gospel. I'm not really interested in how much delta V it says, or how long to burn for, or anything like that, or even when to burn. It's more about just kind of getting close. So let's hop on that maneuver node. And now what I'm going to be focusing on is seeing how close I can get to Tylo without actually crashing into Jool. So I'm going to cancel this. And I'm going to looking at my orbit here, and then also looking at my orbit on the other side. Here we go. Bring that periapsis in. Oof. Oh, it may be impossible. Let's see. Just keep on burning. Okay, so now I've got a periapsis of 50 grand, and my Jool periapsis is nothing yet. So I'm going to keep on burning until I start getting a Joolian periapsis. I'm not entirely sure. It's Tylo. I think a kilometer up. Or not kilometer, that far up. Yeah, 1.6 kilometers up should be okay. Okay. And I'm still getting pretty close to the planet. Yeah, I'm still pretty close to the planet. But yeah, if I got any closer to the planet, it would actually fling me into Jool. And that's no good. Now the other thing here is that, unfortunately, because of this slingshot maneuver, I'm actually slinging past this planet and then around Jool and then back out into open space. So, again, all these maneuvers are having like total system effects here. So, if you wanted to do this differently, perhaps you would just you would plan these maneuvers out a little bit more delicately and also not get so close to the planets, because the further you are from these planets, or moons in this case, the less effect they will have on your overall orbit. So at any rate, we're just going to be bold and go for this right here and see what we can do to correct things in the future. So let's go ahead and warp into the SOY. Check my delta V situation again. 7 grand. Doing okay. Might do something while in Tylo's SOI to stop me from to stop me from leaving the Joolian system. In fact, I think that's what we do in the beginning of next episode. We're going to see what we can do to not fling ourselves out of Jool, because I want to hit one more. Bob or Paul, maybe both. At any rate, here we are. Here we are above Tylo. Let's take a look at it. We're still kind of far away. Which one are you, Tylo? You're this one. So here we are, Jool. We've got Tylo, looks like Lathe right there, and then Val, perhaps in the distance. That's what it appears to be. Oh, no, Val was, yeah, that's right, Val in the middle. It was just small, so it looks further away. And then I think the planet's kind of obscuring Bob. Nope. We should be able to see Bob if we look real close. Should be able to see Bob over here somewhere, but I don't. So. At any rate, okay, so here we are around Tylo. I'm actually going to end the episode, I think, here. A quick save real quick so I can load back to this moment. Because we're moving pretty quick. So I'm quick saving here because I have to do several things in rapid succession. I have to get all the signs, then I have to plan my maneuver and everything else. And that's all too long to end this episode with, but I think it'll be okay to begin the next episode. So hopefully you're enjoying this kind of whirlwind tour of the Joolian system. Kind of a lot to see here, but this has been fun so far. And anyway, I hope you join me for the next episode. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe. That would really help me out. I'd definitely appreciate it. Of course, only if you're so inclined. And if you have any comments or suggestions, I say comments, I mean, of course I just asked you to comment, but if you have any suggestions on future episodes or future games to play or anything like that, let me know, and I'm definitely open to any kind of feedback, criticism, comments. So, at any rate, you have a great night, and I really appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.